How to achieve balance in life is probably one of the oldest philosophical questions. And while my girlfriend took the route of finishing her doctor's degree so she can help people reach mental and emotional balance through therapy, I have taken the easier course of teaching people how to achieve physical balance. Because who needs emotional balance if you can have physical balance, which will help you fake emotional balance? Now, lucky for you, reaching physical balance is just one kettlebell and a handful of exercises away. You see, it's all about your core and of course your legs, then of course your arms as well, and probably even your shoulders. It's a full body thing, which is why today we're gonna go through the most important exercises you can do to work on your physical balance so you can reduce your chances of injury and pretend to be a mentally balanced person as well. Now to go through this systemically, let's check out what we are doing and why we are doing it. First of all, we need strong foot musculature because our feet are the first point of contact with the ground. Next, we need enough strength as well as coordination and control over our entire leg musculature, not only for doing asymmetrical or unilateral movements, but also for reflex purposes. Next up, your core's main function next to spinal flexion is basically balancing your entire body throughout every single movement in your day-to-day life. And that means not only flexion, but also extension, rotation, stabilization, etc. So the exercises we will be working on will mostly connect all of these. Now we can check out the exercises we will go through. And one of the most amazing exercises to work on that are lunges, especially the combination of classic forward lunges combined with backwards lunges, which are very beginner friendly and have a very low entrance threshold. So anyone can start using those exercises even from the comfort of their home. And when it comes to form, there is nothing easier. Just try and stay fully upright with your upper body, take long steps, and try to bring your knee down all the way to the ground. Amazingly, we're also having the tiniest bit of stretching or flexibility work if you are really tight, for instance, in your hip flexors and in your ankles. Amazing bonus to have while we are working on our balance. Now, contrary to popular belief, the next step would not be adding resistance or weight, but would actually be increasing our range of motion. Meaning we're gonna grab ourselves some type of elevation and we're gonna repeat the same process once more with a longer movement radius. The same goes for the frontal as well as the backwards lunges. And if you're crossing over, we're gonna add once more a little bit more flexibility, and now we have even more strength requirements. We're balancing out with our feet, we're working with our legs, and now we can start adding slow, controlled movements, which require a lot of stabilization and a lot of control, and we can add fast twitch explosive movements, which, while they do not require the same amount of stabilization, will require a little bit more strength and speed. Now, progressing with the lunges before we move on to some different or more complex exercises, all we need to do is grab ourselves one weight. Because now we can start replicating the same movements with added resistance, but only on one side. This is gonna force our core to stabilize a lot more, and through that we can start working even more on our balancing ability. Which means that, for instance, you would go through 10 repetitions of one-sided kettlebell backwards lunges before you switch hands and repeat the entire process for the other side. We have a lot more core engagement, and of course, the more resistance we use, the more core engagement we will have with those exercises, while we are even adding more and more resistance onto our legs and feet to strengthen those muscles as well. Having added resistance and gone through the motions, we can advance even more by adding elevation and increasing the range of motion to combine both the resistance and the increased range of motion for even harder exercises. And once more, you can slow down or you can speed up, and I would advise, of course, combining both of these. But let's step away from lunges for a minute to one of people's favorite leg exercises, Another asymmetrical one, which are split squats. Now, split squats are not only amazing at helping you build some more leg strength as well as glute development, but they can also help you a lot with working on your balance, especially if you're using the weights on one side, and even more so if you're using the weight on the side which has the leg at the back. Now we have a lot of core engagement, especially from our obliques to keep us fully upright. Our spinal erectors are working overtime to keep our back straight, and combining all of this with, once more, strength in our legs and in our feet is the perfect recipe for never having problems with your own balance again. Now, while it's starting to seem like I am here to torture you, I am actually here to help and to have a little bit of fun when it comes to working out. This exercise is by far one of my favorites, not only because it is an amazing balance exercise, but also because we can combine working on our flexibility with strength and balance as well as coordination, all in a single exercise. For this exercise, I want you to keep your legs completely extended and bring that kettlebell all the way down to the ground with your upper body somewhat parallel to the ground. You're gonna notice the worse you are with your strength in your hips, the more you will fall sideways or open up to this side to counteract the balance problems you have. However, if you can keep your mind focused on staying parallel and extended, you will take care of that problem. If you do not have the range of motion to move down all the way, even just such a short movement is absolutely amazing at helping you work on that. And over time, you can start increasing that range of motion until you can keep your leg completely extended when moving down all the way. Once again, we're combining our core musculature with our leg and foot musculature, working a lot with our obliques and our back muscles to achieve this perfect balance without falling over. Now, just to take some of the pressure off your legs with a handful of exercises, you can also just work on your obliques by just standing fully upright and going into those sideways or lateral movements, stretching out your side and then contracting and pulling up all the way. Not only are you going to strengthen your core and over time have some nice looking obliques that round up your aesthetic physique, but you're also helping yourself work on that balance requirement for your core. And by far one of the most effective yet easiest to replicate exercises when it comes to working on your balance, and it is absolutely no joke, is just standing on one foot. And I do this over the course of the day, probably for more than half an hour to a full hour. And you can do this basically at any place or at any point. I do this when I'm at home and cooking. I do this when I'm standing around at the street waiting to cross over. Wherever I have time and I'm just standing around, I am working on my balance. And over time, this is gonna get better and better. And you will be able to hold positions like these for hours and hours on end. Not that you have to, but you could if you wanted to. And that is always the goal now, isn't it? One of my absolute favorites, because it's not only a balance exercise, but it is basically a skill exercise. You are working on your flexibility, you are working on your coordination and your strength, and you're doing so for your entire body basically. And that would be the combination of pistol squats and toe taps. Sitting all the way down, extending both legs and starting the pistol squat from its actual starting position, which is this one and not this one. You're working on your hip flexors, quadriceps and lower abdominals. We are working on our core in general to pull us forward and elevate us. We're working on our balance, not only through the extension phase, but also through the touchdown phase and through the reversal phase. And because the pistol squat is a skill that has a lot of benefits, but also a lot of requirements for your own body, we have made a full video just talking about how you can reach it step for step. You can check it out right here. Which brings me to my final category of exercises I wanted to talk about today when it came to balance, and that would be rotational resistance band exercises for our core. And because we are working on our balance as the main focus, we will be doing so on a single leg. Now, the levels of rotation, where you come from, can be up to you. I would advise when you're working with the resistance band to connect it to something that is very close to the floor, because this is gonna, over time, the longer your movement gets, pull you not only sideways but also downwards, which means that you're gonna have a lot of more requirements to balance out with your legs, which is absolutely amazing. And you wanna go through the longest range of motion possible for you, as well as the most control you can exert through the movement. You can stop at the end of your range of motion, you can take breaks every couple of inches, or you can go through the entire movement in an explosive fashion before you reverse in a slow down movement. This way, we are working our entire body through one single exercises with a main focus on our legs as well as our core. Now, when it comes to programming, if you can take all of these exercises, go through 2 rounds for each of these and 12 to 16 repetition for every single set, you basically have an entire workout that is going to be absolutely amazing at working on your leg strength, your core strength, in combination with your balance, making this once again a peak efficiency workout, because we're having so many factors that are getting into our workout that are beneficial to us. But of course, what you can also do is just take some of the exercises, the ones that you deem to be the most fun or that you see to have the most benefit, and just apply them in your own training repertoire. And with that said, once again, sadly, that's all the time I've left for you today. However, if you like the video and subscribe, and please check out other videos on this channel, because we literally have new ones every single day. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Captain Cairo. Peace out.